Over the past decade, I've hired more than 750 people, ranging from entry-level analysts to senior executives. And here's the thing, what most people think employers are looking for isn't always true. In this video, I'll break down exactly what makes candidates stand out, what hiring managers like me are looking for, and how you can prepare to land the job you want. Now, you might think it's all about your resume, the technical skills you listed, or even how you answered those tricky interview questions. Now, while those things matter, that's not usually what makes or breaks a hiring decision during the interview process. Stick with me to the end and I'll share the one overlooked quality that separates the good from the great. I've spent over 30 years managing teams and building organizations in tech consulting, analytics, and AI. I reviewed thousands of resumes and I've sat through countless interviews. And over those years, I've seen what works and most importantly, what doesn't. Let me show you the insights that too many candidates miss. First up is emotional intelligence, or EQ. EQ is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions while also recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. In a workplace, it's the key to building strong team relationships, managing stress, and navigating those complex team dynamics. And employees like me value EQ because it helps build cohesion and trust. And those are the two things that every great team needs. So how do we spot EQ in an interview process? Well, we're looking for things like empathy, self-awareness, conflict resolution, and honestly, just a good positive attitude. So for empathy, we're looking whether you can see things from another's perspective. And for self-awareness, we want to see that you understand your strengths and also, most importantly, your areas of weakness. For conflict resolution, we want to see that you can navigate disagreements and maybe come up with a solution that's more of a win-win. And finally, for that positive attitude, we're looking for some measured confidence and just optimism in general. So as a candidate, how can you display EQ in an interview? Well, most importantly, just stay calm and focused while answering challenging questions. This shows us that you can regulate your emotions in those moments. I've actually given case study interviews back in a couple companies ago, and we purposely, this is true, we purposely would challenge the answers to case studies so that we could see how a candidate handled that disagreement, even though they may have been right. Case studies are tricky because there's really no right answer. So you might have an answer that feels good, and we actually might agree with you, but we will purposely debate that point to see how you handle that disagreement. That's how we look for EQ. And also, just honestly have that positive attitude throughout the interview and share moments where you may have been empathetic or may have handled conflict, or honestly, just be honest about those strengths and weaknesses. Too often candidates are just overconfident in the strengths, they're afraid to share weaknesses, and honestly, that's a bad look. It's not going to kill the interview for you, but don't be afraid to share weaknesses. That's a positive thing, honestly. We all have them. I have plenty of them. The next insight that we're looking for in the interview process is execution focus, the reliability that builds trust. Listen, employers aren't just looking for people with good ideas. We want people who can execute. And execution focus is about reliability, accountability, and delivering results even when things get tough. It's the one trait that makes you indispensable for any team. So a few ways I look for execution focus in the interview process is to look for examples of accountability, follow-through, and proactive problem solving. So what's accountability? Accountability is owning your own mistakes and learning from them. And follow-through, do you consistently meet deadlines and deliver on your promises? And lastly, proactive problem solving. How resourceful are you when challenges arise? So how can you show execution focus in the interview? Well, we really want you to focus on results. Specifically share measurable outcomes from your past roles. For example, because we deployed that product, we were able to save 15% over 6 months, something like that. And also, display how you handle obstacles. Due to tight deadlines or limited resources, you were still able to deliver results. Those kinds of examples really help us understand your ability to be reliable when the going gets tough. Another essential trait we look for in an interview is adaptability. How do you thrive in change? The only constant in most industries today is change. And employers value candidates that can roll with the punches, learn quickly, and adapt to new tools, processes, and environments. Adaptability is what separates those who survive from those who thrive. 3 signs of adaptability are learning agility, resilience, and versatility. First up, learning agility. How quickly can you pick up new skills or technologies? Resilience. How do you handle unexpected setbacks or changes? And finally, versatility. Are you comfortable taking on new roles or tasks outside of your job description? So how could you show adaptability in an interview? Well, don't forget to focus on those times that you had to pivot quickly, like when you had to adapt to a new software or take on an unexpected leadership role. And don't forget to highlight those stretch assignments where you stepped out of your comfort zone to help your team succeed. Next, we look for problem solving, turning challenges into opportunities. Listen, at its core, consulting is about problem solving. Whether it's a process inefficiency, a technical glitch, or a strategic roadblock, your ability to break down challenges into actionable solutions is what keeps clients coming back. Here, employees are looking for analytical thinking, action orientation, and creativity. For analytical thinking, can you assess a situation and identify the root cause? For action orientation, do you take the initiative to implement solutions? And lastly, creativity, can you think outside that proverbial box to come up with innovative solutions? You're really not going to be able to avoid showing problem-solving skills in an interview. Most interviewers have a one-track mind. They're going to really focus on this area, and they may even neglect the others, which I regret. But to show your skills for problem-solving in a proper way, I want you to think of the STAR technique. You may have heard of it already. Think STAR. So for S, the situation, like what caused you to even focus on that problem? Tasks, what tasks did you come up with that might attack the root cause? Actions, the action orientations that you took on, and then finally the result. Like your ability to explain the result from your efforts solving that problem are going to win the day. Communication is the next thing we want to confirm. Communication is the connector of everything. The ability to communicate clearly and effectively is what ties all these traits together. Employers love candidates who can explain complex ideas, adapt their styles to different audiences, and foster collaboration with active listening. For communication, we're looking for these 3 things: clarity, active listening, and storytelling. So for clarity, can you explain your ideas easily and effectively? Active listening. Are you listening to understand or just to respond? We can spot that pretty easily in an interview, honestly. And then storytelling, how good are you using narratives to explain your ideas and make them more compelling? I open almost every interview, actually for the last 3 or 4 years I've been doing this, asking a candidate to tell their story. I just get the ball rolling. I like to make it conversational. I hate the old style of question and answer, question and answer. So I have it set up with a story. I want them to tell me how they got here. Like, why are we even at this moment? And lead me up to that. I don't want them to go that far back, but I just use this moment to see their storytelling capability and to see if they can just summarize the highlights of their career to get us started. It's a really good thing to practice. Just practice telling your story. And other ways you can show communication skills in an interview is highlight times that your communication skills help to resolve a problem or solve an issue. And practice, like I said, with the storytelling of your own story, but practice answering your questions with a storytelling thought process, with a beginning, middle, and end. If you think like that, you're going to do much better in an interview. And don't forget the active listening. We're telling you about the company. We're telling you about the role. We want to see that you're paying attention to that and not just thinking of the next question you want to ask. Or like the Q&A part. When I give you an opportunity to ask questions and I'm providing an answer, there were times that I'm like, man, this is a really good answer. Like, I'm really providing a lot of depth to a question. And I can tell if an interview candidate is just like waiting for their next question. Of course people are nervous, I get it. But that's a skill we're looking for. Like, just relax, listen, and gather more information from me when I answer that question. If you don't look like you even care about the answer, that you're just going through the steps, it kind of hurts you a little in that process. And now your bonus insight, passion and curiosity. Why is it so essential? See, passion and curiosity is what makes good candidates great. Employers can notice if someone genuinely cares about their role and the company's mission. It's what sets apart someone who's just doing the job from someone who's excited to innovate and grow. So how can you display passion and curiosity in the interview? Well, show excitement for the role and the company's mission by asking thoughtful questions about their challenges. And I say excitement, make sure it's measured excitement. We don't want too much excitement. We can actually spot BS. Passion and curiosity is an interesting thing because we want it, but we also don't want way too much of it because then it looks like it's insincere. So be careful there. And lastly, talk about something that you've learned recently related to the job. It'll show that you're proactive and engaged. To recap, emotional intelligence, execution focus, adaptability, problem solving, and communication. Those are the 5 key traits employers are really looking for. If you notice, I didn't even talk about technical skills at all. The technical skills listed on your resume got you to the interview. Now it's time to focus on these key traits to really land the job. Add in passion and curiosity, and you're unstoppable. If you're preparing for your next job hunt, start by assessing yourself against these 5 key traits and actively work to improve them. Listen, I never want to be a like and subscribe guy, but if you found this helpful, I'd love you to join me as we continue on this journey, talking about career growth, goal setting, and building the life you want. And don't forget, I'm live every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. DC time. Join me for real-time advice and insights. Let's grow together.